I am this year 30 years into my career.
Mm.
My first record will be 30 years old in a year and a half, 2 years. And to be able to be here and have people call me legendary is a blessing. There's nothing lost on that because this is not food and water. People don't have to rock with you. And the average career back in my days lasted 3 years. Now with the new game, people that made a record last year ain't even here no more. So I think everybody who calls me a legend is a blessing.
Oh, for sure. And listen here, ain't no gaslighting. It is what it is, man. I believe in giving flowers, man. Way too often we wait to, the opportunity has passed to do so. So for sure. And I think your position is interesting, Fatman Scoop. So like you said, you reached out to us.
Just call me Scoop, brother.
Hey,
Scoop.
like, hey, it's not all bad sisters out there. And you said, look, there's good ones. And that's interesting because you know and believe in your heart that there's good women out there. But it's my understanding you got some pushback on when you went up on Ashley Dalton. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, here's where I'm at with it. It's like saying all black people are criminals. It's like saying all white people are cutthroat or whatever. There's no absolutes, and there's people out here, you just have to find them. So for me, I think in today's dating world, here's the problem. The loudest voice in the room is the hoe culture. That's the loudest voice in the room. There's good women, they just not talking because they in the cut. That's what they do. They being wives, they doing wife shit. These chicks, the hoe culture is the loudest voice in the room, and we need women who are not that to come out and say, listen, what y'all doing is crazy. And I know, and as people see this on social media, they follow the behavior. So I need all of you guys to understand, and everybody who's watching, if you're a parent and you don't give a damn about your kids, the phone is your kid's mother. That means that Sukiyama and Sexy Red are their mother. So what you think you're gonna get? You know what I'm saying? And this is just the music that's out there. I mean, I understand what it is. I just did a concert with Sexy Red 2 weeks ago. I'm doing one on Friday overseas. Like, I understand what it is, but it's our goal as men here, and I can say that all of us in this room right now, we are basically men's men. We have to speak up and say something, because if we don't say something, the next move is a wrap, man.
Well, let me ask you this. Like you say, you're spending a lot of time overseas, and there's a whole movement going on right now with the passport bros and all of that. So what is the biggest difference between the women over there and the women here in the States?
Okay, so let me start by saying this. I've been going overseas 46 to 48 weeks a year for 28 years. I go through a passport every year. That's how much I travel. When you go and see other cultures and you juxtapose that against quote unquote black culture, it is shocking. I'll give you a great example. I just got back from Morocco 2 weeks ago. So I usually in the middle of the summer, I do a little tour of the Middle East, Dubai, Bahrain. I went to Bali, then I went to Morocco, and then back to Dubai and came home. The thing that and that was like a 2-week trip. Usually I go overseas like on Thursday and come back on Sunday. So I had 2 or 3 weeks to be out there. You don't see women getting up in men's face. You don't see women arguing. You don't see women doing all that kind of stuff. If you see an argument, I was in Morocco, I was at the airport. There was an argument going on, but that was between two men. You never see none of that. You never see women back talking. The way they dress, the way they conduct themselves, they are very friendly, open, agreeable. They don't dress the way the women dress here. They don't dress like they're going to be on a pole and then ask somebody why they're not their husband.
Come on, man.
It's just the behavior that they have. And even down to sometimes you have to have the okay from the family to date somebody, because when they release their child, they're releasing them to you and your family. So there's a whole different a way of thinking of life, especially outside of Western countries. And the reason that I'm speaking on it is because I believe in one thing, and I say this all the time. Do whatever you want to do, but the results gonna be the results. Okay? Y'all can say whatever y'all want to me. Y'all can do whatever y'all want. Y'all can not listen to me. You can be disrespectful, but we can do a 10-year challenge. Let's come back and see where you at in 10 years.
Yeah, you sound like me.
The results will be the results. So, and again, this is not something that I'm just saying. I say this to my daughter because I'm responsible for her. And I think that we've gone away from the traditional thinking of how things were. So I'm gonna let you guys talk, but I just want to say this. If you look at the years that Black people, and I'm only going to speak about Black people right now, the years that Black people were the most well-to-do, do you know what those years were?
60s.
30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. What was going on back then? A man was a man, a woman was a woman. Everybody knew their role. The man did this, the woman did that. The kids were together, everything was straight. That's when we were the most upwardly mobile. Once we got away from that, the results are the results. So, I mean, you know, it's a whole different world out there, man. Outside of Western culture, definitely.
Okay, so let me ask you then, AM. The title of the show is The End of Modern Dating and Relationships. Are we witnessing the end? Like right now, are we in the midst of it?
We already passed it. We already passed it, bro. The dating game ended, in my opinion, I feel like the dating game ended in the mid 2010s.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. That's
like the mid, because like the last decent dating, as far as I remember, was late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? That was the last, and it was kind of getting shaky then. You feel what I'm saying? Because like, bruh, it's this whole concept of I don't need a man just has embedded itself in the culture. Like it's become part of the culture to the point where how can you have a decent dating situation? It wasn't like it was when I was dating in the late 90s, where both people came to the dating situation in good faith. You know what I'm saying? We just wanted to get to know each other. It wasn't about, it wasn't about what kind of car I drove. It wasn't about how many bodies she got. It wasn't about any of that. Even though there were women that was checking for dudes with certain type of cars, but those wasn't all of the women.
Mm-hmm.
Those was the ones that was on some gold digging shit. Like that's what we would call gold diggers. You feel me? But it was chicks that you could, man, back then you could have a bad chick and be broke.
Yeah, you could.
No money, and you had this bad chick, and her friends would look at her like, "Why you with him?" He give a shit. You feel me? So I think it's already over, bro. I think it's already done.
You know something? I want to hop in there and expand on that. You know, when we are in the time of I don't need a man for nothing. Then if you don't need a man for nothing, then why are you out here looking for a man? If you want a man, you say I don't want to pay 50% of the bills. A lot of men cannot handle that. So if you don't want to pay 50% of the bills, pay 100% of the bills. It's your business. Also, I think that things got bad at the dawn of social media, and here's why. Because now you have people curating content. So that means that these chicks will see a woman going out to Turks and Caicos on the beach and all of that stuff and this and da-da-da. You never see the man anyway, but that's another story. They got them believing something, and then those women are going back to the other women saying, well, so-and-so, you don't do it like this for him and blah, blah, blah. You don't know what's going on out there. That woman could be getting choked out to an inch of her life. She could be getting beat on like a rag doll. Anything could be going on, but you don't look at that because you only look at the wins. So that's bringing unrealistic expectations. Number two is everything has got down to a financial transaction. For me, when I was really, really moving out here, I didn't give a damn about that, because for me, time is money. So if you wanna move like this and make it a financial transaction, then that means I can put less time into this and get back to this wall where I gotta write these records. So, but making it a financial transaction, in the end, women will be the loser.
Yeah.
Because they will absolutely be the loser, and they don't understand that as you're doing this, you're quietly pricing yourself out the marketplace. So that's another thing. And then, as far as the passport bros go, all of that is cool, right? But here's your problem. And I say this to all passport bros and those who wish to be passport bros. If you go get a woman from Indonesia, because I was just out there in Bali, if you go out there to Thailand, you go in all these places and you get a woman, then you better stay out there. You better live out there. Because if you bring her back to Western culture, it's only going to take 6 hours of BET and some social media for you to be right back to where you were. So,
hey, Scoop, yes. like Eddie Murphy, huh? Eddie.
Am I saying too much? Am I wrong, or you tell me?
She gonna turn into an American Bali baddie.
Yep. And then also you have to understand that as these guys go out there, these women are getting smart now. So they're starting to get up on what dudes are out there for, and they starting to finesse them. I think, for me, I can only speak on what I know. I feel like Black culture is the main perpetrators of this whole thing kind of going on. Not that white people and other people don't do it. Maybe I see it the most because I am Black, but I notice in other cultures, and this was an interesting thing that I saw. It was a meme that said, a Spanish man will be like 4'2" and have $3 in his pocket, and his woman will listen to his direction. We don't have that in this game. When I'm out in the street and I pay attention to how Spanish people, Latin people are moving, I don't see none of that crazy stuff. Unless these people are already westernized, I don't see that. I'm just telling you, and that's here in America.
Okay.
And what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that?
I'll get you here, Mr. Walker. I'm gonna pull this video up, but go ahead, Mr. Walker.
I was gonna say, and it's because we made it that way, Scoop. Just think about the context. You say westernized compared to over in other countries, and the whole concept, the crazy, insane concept that a woman doesn't need a man. They don't feel that way over there. They ain't crying that cry. Correct me if I'm wrong, but only in the melanated community is the woman crying the cry that she don't need her man. And then come on, and it's sick.
Again, I want the angry man to speak. I travel the world, like I travel like that. Like I put in 1 million miles, at least 600,000 to 800,000 to 1 million miles a year. You just don't see it outside of possibly England. You might get some of that in France. As you're starting to move east to the Eastern Bloc countries, Slovenia, Montenegro, Georgia, once you get past that Western line, you really don't see it like that, man. That's just my personal observation.